What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your Brewmaster-in-Chief. And tonight, in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a Jund mid-rangey, control-y type of a brew that I've been having heaps of fun with. Just a breath of fresh air after a very long day in the trenches. I'm sitting on Diamond 2.5. I was one match away from Mythic twice today. So close, but got all the way knocked back down to Diamond. For that reason, we will also be playing a bit of Unranked again today. I just would love for you guys all to just bear with me. I am 99, let's say 90% sure that this time tomorrow I'll be in Mythic. So you'll just have to bear with me for one more night, a little bit of Unranked gameplay before diving back into some ranked footage. So yeah, a little bit of a long-winded introduction, but without further ado, well, let's jump into tonight's brew. Riveteers! Exclamation mark. So, taking it from the top, as I always do, describe the deck for you guys from left to right. I'll explain to you why it is that I've picked a card, how it is that it synergizes with the other cards in the deck, if at all, and, what some of the various play lines might be. Then we'll jump into some gameplay footage. Hopefully I'll get to illustrate all of those play lines and interactions for you guys against some opponents. That way you really get to see the deck do its thing in its entirety, and you can therefore decide, whether this is worth your precious wild cards. And then we'll jump back into the deck at the end with my final thoughts, overall deck review, and if we do need to make some adjustments to the brew along the way, which we often do, then at the end is when I like to discuss those modifications, so stick around. Why did I say Jund control-y, mid-range leaning more on the control side of things is because we have an obscene amount of really good removal. So, 3 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst, 3 copies of Strangle for the early game. Nice that they can both hit creatures and planeswalkers. Nice that they're both very cheap. Then we've got 3 Infernal Grasps because instant speed, creature lands, that sort of thing. Great to have, just in general. A little bit of instant speed removal goes a long way. These are both sorcery speeds, so there we go. We've also got Unleash the Inferno, which is instant speed, but it is much more expensive. But I would like to run a 3rd copy, so let's see. We might end up cutting maybe one of the Charms, or one of the Grasps, or one of the Strangles or something. Try and squeeze in an additional copy of Unleash the Inferno. But for now, it's been running just sweet. Then, we've got a bit of a ramp package here in the Black Market Tycoon, making a first appearance, debut on the channel. Interesting card. Really pretty strong, actually. First of all, Vanishing Burst Proof. Great, multicolored. It does deal 2 damage to you at the beginning of each upkeep for each treasure you control. So just, try not to have too much treasure. Fortunately, only it and the Fable of the Mirror Breaker make treasure in the whole deck, so not too bad. Also, the Ziatora's thing makes treasure, but that happens rarely. It's a spicy one-of, and not the real win con. But anyway, the point is, just be careful of these treasures, because you're going to take 2 damage for each one you control. So often you got to ramp, and then just use that treasure straight away. But in the situation where you need to ramp by 2 before your next turn, you can also tap it during the opponent's turn, make a treasure, you'll take the 2 damage, and then during your turn, tap it again, also play your land. You're now like 3 mana up from your previous turn. You can get a Titan of Industry down really easy, a Workshop Warchief nice and early, that sort of thing. So Black Market Tycoon, testing it out, this over something like the Innkeeper or let's say the Gala Greeters. Preferring this one for now. Let's see how it runs during tonight's gameplay footage. Then we've got some sweeper action in the form of the Meathook Massacre, of course. Then full playset of Fable of the Mirror Breaker. We're playing red. Why wouldn't you run it? Everybody is. I am no exception. This card is obviously freaking amazing, and it doesn't hurt that we have 2 of the best copy targets in standard in the deck. Of course, copying your Warchief or the Titan is just amazing. So yeah. Full playset of Fable of the Mirror Breaker. again. Then we've got a full playset of Riveteers Charm, which is another just amazing card. Especially in the meta right now. Like, I feel like the graveyard shenanigans types of decks are slowly starting to get like more and more prevalent. There's like still lots of Goldspan Dragon Leer bollocks going on. Exile the whole graveyard. Leer has nothing to play with. Grixis Reanimator, Naya Reanimator, you name it. There's just plenty of decks now that are doing stuff with graveyard. And the third mode on this, exile target player's graveyard. Mwah. But then it can also be removal, non-targeted removal. So, you know, your Goldspan Dragons doesn't get the treasure. Another great one is the... what's his face? Oh my goodness. The Illuminator Virtuoso, which they always are keeping like a Snakeskin Veil or a, you know, some hexproof type of thing in their hand to protect it. Now you're not actually targeting it, they just have to sack it. So if they don't have like specifically that phase out 1 mana, what's it called, slip out the back, they can also lose their Illuminator Virtuoso to a Riveteers Charm. And then the second mode, a little bit of card advantage in a deck which sorely needs some. It's kind of our only card advantage alongside Ziatora's Envoy, which we'll get to in a second. So use it sparingly, the second mode there. But, you know, opponent's end step, just before you're about to untap, you exile the top 3 cards of your library and then you can play them. It's of course a problem if you do it early on in the game and then you exile a Titan and you don't have any mana to cast it. It just goes into exile. It always feels a little bad. So again, just you'll know when the right time is to use which mode based on the board state. Then we've got 2 Unleash the Inferno, which can also deal with artifacts and enchantments depending on the excess damage that you deal. But the fact that it does, you know, it can deal 7 also potentially deals with opponents. Titans of Industries. It's the only spell, you know, burn spell that does 7 damage in the format. So one way of dealing with your Titan if it doesn't have its shield counter on. Voila. More and more this card, I'm just loving it more and more and more. Such a sweet removal spell. Then we've got full playset of Ziatora's Envoy, another card making a debut on the channel. Can't believe I never played this one yet. It's a 5/4 Trampler for 4. Just that is pretty freaking insane, right? I mean, 4 mana 5/4 Trample? That's really good. Also dodges Vanishing Verse. But doesn't end there. You can blitz it in for 5, which means it gets haste. Swing it in for 5 with haste, and then it dies, you draw a card. But whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you can look at the top card of your library, and you may play a land off the top of your library, if that's what it is, or you may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the damage dealt from the top of your library without paying its mana cost. If you don't, you know, in the case that you didn't do enough damage to cast the thing that you have on the top of your library, you still just get to put it into your hand. So between the Riveteers Charm and the Ziatora's Envoy, we're getting more cards to do things with, hopefully. Then, continuing onto the top end here, another Blitz creature. 3 copies of the Workshop Warchief. Can be blitzed in for 6. When you do, you're swinging in with a hasty 5/3 Trampler. You gain 3 life when it ETBs. When it dies, you get a 4/4 Rhino and you draw a card. For 6 mana, I mean, it's a bit, but that is an obscene amount of value. Unfortunately, Vanishing Verse is still a huge problem to this card, but when you're playing against opponents that do not have it, or just, you know, in their deck at all, or just don't get to top deck it, pardon me, such a sweet card. Then we've got a spicy, sneaky one of Ziatora. And this is another one which I wish I could just trim something to get an additional copy in, because it is definitely a really sweet card and a win con in and of itself. You know, it doesn't do anything when it enters the battlefield straight away, but at the beginning of that end step, usually, you know, you play it on turn 6. If you've done it on curve, you might or you will have a Workshop Warchief or a Ziatora's Envoy, or even if it's just a freaking Goblin Shaman or your Tycoon, anything that you have lying about you can sack at the beginning of your end step, fling it at the opponent. So, yeah, beginning of your end step, fling it at the opponent, and then get 3 treasures on top of it. So, just freaking amazing. And then the very next turn, you swing in with a 6/6. And you may be able to cast something else, which, you know, you might even be able to blitz in something else the following turn. Swing with both, and then before the blitz thing sacrifices itself, you sacrifice it to Ziatora. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my god, it's so much fun. Yeah, we may need to make like a more build around Ziatora brew. I still haven't played with the Riveteers Ascendancy. There's a brew there that I'm looking at, so you'll have to stay tuned for that brew in the coming future. And then at the very top end, of course, a couple of Titans. Such a great top end right now in any deck that's playing green. Just does so much. Not only is it just an amazing copy target for the Fable, you can also sack it to the Ziatora and go, do 7 damage to face. Even if you've copied a Titan with Kiki-Jiki, and then you fling the copy with Ziatora, you still get to keep the original, do 7 damage to face, get the 3 treasures, plus all the ETBs from the copying. I mean, that once you're that deep into the match, you're really enjoying yourself and having plenty of fun shredding some people. But that's it. That's the brew. As far as the mana base goes, we've got 1 Hive, 1 Den, 1 Takenuma, 1 Sokenzan, 2 Boseijus. Those are our utility lands, which leaves us with 1 of each basic, gone with my Godzilla lands, of course, and then an ascending hodgepodge collection of duels, and then, of course, a full playset of the new Tri-land, Ziatora's previous playground. So 2, 1 of each of the black and red, because it's a little bit less black and red, 2 of each of the black and green, and then 3 of each of the red and green. And so far, it's been just perfect. So that's the deck. Riveteers, mid-rangey, control-y, blitzy, Ziatora shenanigans. Let's jump into some games. I'm sitting like a few matches away from Mythic, so I just gonna keep playing unranked. I hope you guys bear with me. I apologize for these last couple of days of unranked, but I get the feeling that I'm gonna get into Mythic tomorrow, and then we'll resume straight away with like just ranked gameplay footage from then on. Promise. Of course, as well, don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, of course subscribe, and if you could be so kind, and if you have not done so already, consider joining the Discord community. Link in the video description down below. Nice. I'll keep that. Oh, that's a keeper. Nope. Not audio. Having some audio issues lately. Ninarino Decorino. Hilarious. We're just gonna go boom-bitty and boom-bitty. Not bad, huh? Hopefully not a Doomscar. That would really suck. 12 damage. The green. And win the game. Let's fling the blitzed one. Skadoosh. I mean, it's pretty easy when the opponent does nothing, but that felt pretty damn nice. I'm not gonna lie. That's Ziatora's Envoy. I cannot believe that's the first time I'm putting that in a deck. What a card. 5/4 trample for 4 mana. That can draw you cards. Boy, I freaking like it, eh? I like it, mate. It's fucking good, eh? Mr. Dur. Like one of those dwarven names. Dur van Durgen Durg. That's a mulligan. Ooh. Boys, waking up. Oh, Selesnya enchantments. Yay. How dull. Michigo's Reign of Truth. Triple freaking companion. Sure thing, mate. Ooh. Meathook Massacre, baby. Whew. When in doubt, John them out. Oof. So close. Nice. second wedding announcement, huh? Yeah, guaranteeing that additional land for the Warchief in. Copy Warchief. Rhino. Nice. Are you kidding me, mate? Are you actually kidding me? That's an absolute disaster. Yes, please. It's exactly what I want you to do. Wow, thank you. Wow, like I did not think you would throw all those chump blockers in front of my dudes. Enough land now, thank you very much. Both with trample, which is pretty tasty. Another candy. And another. Thanks, deck. We really needed another land there. Like, top notch. Unbelievable, the flood that has been. Holy crap. Fine. Maybe this will thin the deck out a tiny bit. Now we make the copy. Oh baby, oh baby. That's gotta be one of the freaking nicest wins I've had in a while. 3 wedding invitations. The usual Silesian Charmant's bullshit, and we just... Ah, that felt good. Ah, that felt good. Alright. Any adjustments needing to be made? I don't know, man. It's feeling pretty sweet. as is. Yeah, there's just another whole brew that I've been like trying to wrap my head around now for a few days. It's like Riveteers Ascendancy, Ziatora, Blitz Creatures, you know, Deadly Disputes, and, you know, things that you can sacrifice, you know, sap fodder. There's that 1 mana red new one, the something Witness, Unlucky Witness or something. I got my work cut out for me. We'll probably have to look at that tomorrow. I think this is probably going to be the last match of the night. Kind of just, again, like yesterday, it's 3:20 in the morning as I'm recording this. I do need to just get in the editing mode and start putting some stuff up on the channel before it gets too late. Goes green or black? Black here. Oh no, wait. We need the green if we're going to play out the Tycoon. Blackjack. It's going to be angels. Mono white angels with the Giada sleeves. Play out a Warchief next turn or for 3 mana, even if we don't get another land. Just make a treasure now. Or should we blitz out the Envoy in there? Oh, it's clerics. Where's your righteous Valkyrie, mate? There you are. There you are. Red? Not bad, eh, chap? Chaperone. Tch. Tch. This guy. Tch. Ah, okay. That's a little bit more annoying. Tycoon. It's blitzing time. That's juicy. Card draw. Another card draw. Okay, 2 lands. Maybe we get a Titan next turn. Okay, another voice. We've got the Bloodchief's Thirst. What a joke! 3, huh? 3 of them. Sure. Go on. Oh, really? That was epic. That was beautiful. Just beautiful. Black Market Tycoon. Chef's kiss. Alright, guys. I think that's going to have to be it for tonight. I wish I could go a little longer. I'm having so much fun with this brew, but I do need to call it a night. and as I said, get in the editing mode. So jumping back into the deck with my final thoughts, overall deck review, and you know, modifications that need to be made. Nothing that immediately jumps out at me. I think everything was just humming along, just freaking amazing. But like I mentioned in the introduction, want to find a way to put in an additional Ziatora. So what would you cut? Let me know in the comments. And maybe just some additional card advantage, but between the Riveteers Charm and the Ziatora's Envoy, and the chapter 2 of the Fable to a certain extent, I have not been having too much trouble with card advantage. So, you know, like I said, we could definitely build something completely different around these colors, which is leaning more heavily on the sacrifice theme. I would like to throw in the where is he? The Unlucky Witness over here. Maybe some Shambling Ghasts and Riveteers Ascendancy. If you guys don't know what this card does, whenever you sacrifice a creature, you may return a target creature card with lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So, like, you know, sack something, sack a Warchief to your Ziatora, get back an Envoy. Plenty of cool stuff that can happen in the deck, and even probably like Ziatora in conjunction with Vivian. Jund Vivian is the one color combination that I left out from my Brewing with Vivian video from a few days ago. We definitely need to do something around that. So, like I said, stay tuned. It'll be coming to the channel soon. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight's gameplay footage. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord community, link in the description down below. I will see you guys all tomorrow with some fresh brews. And until then, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.